Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Szabo, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. I'm Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy. And I'm Lacey G.
And today we have back a very special guest. We got Kyle from the Swift Alert app that we all know, that we all love, that we all check constantly when Mother is on tour. And she's going back on tour tomorrow. And Kyle's app has a lot of new features that we want to let you guys know about. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on? Great to be back. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
We got to say, Kyle is on vacation right now.
Yes.
And is still taking the time to not go down the mountain skiing in Utah. He is talking to us about Taylor Swift. Now, Kyle, before we started this, our little video session here, you had told us that you're in an Airbnb in Utah with some of your friends from high school. What do they think about your, let's just call it obsession with Taylor Swift?
It's funny because they saw the obsession at its very beginning stages. I think I mentioned last time that it was a high school ex-girlfriend who first introduced me to Taylor Swift, right? So that was their first exposure to my interest in her music, was going to a concert with that girlfriend on the Fearless tour. And so it's probably funny for them to see how it's kind of blossomed into something that started in that way and now has become something that I really care about and have now created software around, and something that seems to be consuming a lot more and more of my time all the time, including when we're here on vacation. But what would I rather be talking about than this?
Well, and what a dream to be such a boss man that you can take something that you like and be able to turn it into a job. And then now a hobby is something different for you. I mean, I really admire that. That's really cool. And yes, that was a personal question from Nick, because he has gotten a lot of slack from his friends about being a Swiftie. But now I think everybody's kind of coming together now that she's merged with football and is bringing all these different communities together. Finally, everybody gets what we're obsessed about.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been great to see. Like, go ahead, Nick.
No, sorry, I'm stepping all over you.
I was going to say, it's been great to see, like, the JJ Watts of the world and the Flava Flavs of the world. And like, I feel like that has given a little bit of permission, I think, for some men to express interest in this artist. I mean, it was always funny to me that musical artists, men, understood how talented she was. You hear from Paul McCartney and Bob Dylan and these legends in the music industry who talk about her talent as a songwriter, and yet a lot of men felt like it was still weird or feminine or whatever to express an actual interest in her music. So it's been fun to see whatever the entry point is, whether it's Travis Kelce in a football game or it's some other artist who is interested in her, to see kind of that entry point open up, so that we aren't the only ones anymore, Nick.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'll just say it. It's weird as a straight guy to be really obsessed with Taylor Swift, because people don't really expect it. And we've had our own events, and people have come up to me and be like, "Are you really married?" Like, yes, no, I'm really married to a woman. Like, are you really?
I didn't know
Who
that
are you here with?
questioned
I'm here
you.
I'm here by myself. Your wife's not here with you, but you're married. Like, I swear, I promise.
Yeah.
She's at home with the kids.
I'm just a straight dude that loves Taylor Swift. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that?
Totally fine.
Yeah, you're right. And maybe we can thank Travis Kelce for that, because he was very public about wanting to reach out to her during the Eras tour, and he couldn't give her that friendship bracelet. And look at him now.
Yeah, that's very true.
Maybe that's what it is.
And yet we still struggle with all of these people on Twitter being upset when she's at the Chiefs game, and like this is certainly not over by any means.
And you know what? When they first started dating, everyone was saying, "Oh, Taylor's going to be the curse for the Chiefs," because for a minute when she was there, Travis was playing great, and then for a little bit, they weren't doing so hot. But I mean, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're in the playoffs. There's no curse.
Yeah.
So we'll just put that out there.
And now they've even said that they have won more games when she's in attendance
Mhm.
than when she's not.
Mhm.
So now it's like, is she a good luck charm? You know, and
Maybe.
not so much a curse. But I do have to say, Kyle, I absolutely love your app. I've had it since the very, very beginning. I watched it evolve. It's been so awesome. There was one time, because we're also on a morning radio show, and there was one time that somebody had just asked a question like, "Oh, is Taylor gonna be able to like go to the Grammys?" And I was like, "Let me check her schedule." And they're like, "What do you mean, let me check her schedule?" And I was like, "I have the app, like the Swift Alert app." They're like, "The what?" I said, "Yeah." And so then I was like checking the app, whatever. And then a few days later, this girl that listens to the morning show came up to me. She goes, "Do you really have Taylor Swift's schedule on your phone?" I was like, "I have the Swift Alert app. You should get it." So
That's
it's so wonderful, especially because it's like you can see the time zones, which is a huge thing because I'm so bad at time zone math.
Mhm.
So I'm a huge fan of your app.
So
that
Kyle,
was where it started, the time zone.
explain what the Swift Alert app is. If people haven't downloaded it yet, they need to. And tell us the importance and everything behind this app, all the hard work that you've put into it.
Yeah, it started with exactly what Anna is talking about, the time zone math being really challenging. I think I mentioned last time I was on, I was lucky enough to go to opening night and was trying desperately to follow along with the tour after that. So watching live streams and just catching up where I could, but it was always hard to remember, like, all right, what time is, the rep era going to start, or what time are the surprise songs, or what time does the show even start? Because and it was only going to get more complicated, right? It was one thing when it was Eastern time, Central time, Mountain time, Pacific time. Now that we're talking, you know, Japan Standard Time. I don't even know if that's the term, but we're talking Japan, Australia, Poland, Italy, England. Like, I have no idea what time zones those countries are in, and so we wanted to, first things first, create a calendar that would help adjust time zones for you to know what the schedule looked like, and do a little bit of planning. And then we wanted to create the alerts to let you know when things were happening in the show that you want to tune into. So you set an alert for the things that you want, whether you want to catch the surprise songs or the folklore era. You can set that alert. You get a push notification, and then you can click directly into a live stream from some of the awesome live streamers we partner with, whether it's Tess or Folkloric or SwiftStream. Jump into those live streams and enjoy whatever part of the show you want to watch, and then go back to whether it's work or school or sleep or whatever you were doing. You can kind of get back to your life.
That's awesome. So how has your schedule have to change now that she is international, now that she's going on this leg of tour? Does that affect you? Are you going to be up at odd hours? What time is all this happening, Kyle? I need information.
Yeah, someone from our team will certainly be up at all hours. I imagine it will be me most nights. Fortunately, it's fun. Doing this is fun. Following along, we really enjoy it. So I may or may not be waking up even in absence of having this app out there. But yeah, we were. It's tough because there are a lot of conflicting accounts of when certain shows start. If you go on StubHub, or you go on the local venue Facebook page, or you go on Taylor's website, there sometimes are different accounts of what time the show starts. So for a brief period, we thought the Japan shows were going to start at 6 a.m. Eastern. It seems like they're actually going to start at 4 a.m. Eastern. That's now what is reflected in the app based on what we can tell. So I will be brewing an early morning cup of coffee and getting ready to make sure those concert start alerts go out at 4 a.m. I've heard from a lot of people who have said, I'm definitely going to set my surprise song alert so that at 6:30 when surprise songs start, I will get a notification and I can go ahead and wake up and tune in for the parts of the show I want to see. So hopefully it'll be an even more useful tool as we are interrupting people's sleep schedules here in the next couple months.
Yeah. And how many people are on the Swift Alert team? Like, how many people does it take to keep up with all of this?
Yeah, right now we have a very small team. It is myself, it is my wife, a friend of mine who is a big Swiftie who's been excited to help out, and then our engineer, who is someone I found online at the start of this journey and has been really great. So it's really the four of us who are driving this whole thing forward.
Now, and I'm sure you're very protective over all the different aspects of the app, but is there something that you're not going to let that responsibility go to your wife or your friend or the engineer? Like, no, I'm going to oversee this aspect of the app.
It's tough. And this is classic entrepreneurship challenge, right? You don't want to let things go, but
Yeah.
if you the tighter you try to hold on to things, sometimes you miss out on really good ideas that other people have, and that can be a big mistake, right? Like the new song rankings feature that we put out a couple weeks ago. That was purely my wife's idea from start to finish, right? So I try very hard to make sure, if other people have ideas, we are implementing them. Actually, most of the features that you see coming into the app come from feedback that we get from users. So we'll get anywhere from, I don't know, 50 to a couple hundred messages a day into our app system, of people suggesting things that they want to see, or pointing out a spelling error that I made in one of our quizzes or anything.
Uh-huh.
So it's you can't hold on too tightly, because you'll miss out on good ideas that other people have in the community, which happen all the time for us.
That's
And
good advice.
and that's so cool too because the app, like, I mean, yes, the alerts of when she's on stage, the surprise songs, but there's so much more to the app. I love the quizzes. I get really upset when I don't get like 5 out of 5. But like you have like the quizzes and you're adding a bunch of new stuff, right?
We are. We've tried to take advantage of this window, without any shows, to really pump out some new things. I think, as the shows were going on in South America, we were just trying to, frankly, like, stay above water during that period, make sure everything continued to work. And now that it's a little more stable, we're trying to add on new features as often as we can.
So what kind of features do we have coming out now that you're excited
So,
about?
yeah, the last couple weeks we've rolled out. We rolled out first some just advanced filtering options. So if you want to go in and filter on the surprise song tracker, you're now able to filter by venue. You're able to filter by instrument. You've always been able to filter by album. We know there are a lot of folks who like to go in there and play around. So we've tried to enhance some of the filterability there. I don't know if that's a word or if I just made it up, but
It works. We get it.
we're also adding some year filters. So, she's announced that she's going to replay some songs in 2024. So if folks want to know, did she play this in 23 or 24? Or has it been played in 24 yet? You'll be able to go in and filter by year. That should be coming out before the shows start. We added the song rankings feature that I mentioned. We know, Swifties like to know, like other people to know what their favorite albums and favorite songs are. And so we wanted to create an easier way to do that. It can be a little overwhelming to jump in and, rank 220 or 30 odd songs at a time. And so we made it so you can rank each song by album, share those album song rankings, make adjustments that you need to, and then you get your overall rankings, which you can go in and tweak and adjust and share. And then one of the cool things I like about that is you can also see like your average rank of a Reputation song, for example, and then you can see what the rest of the Swift Alert community ranks that album, right? So maybe you think that you're like the biggest Evermore stan in the world, and you go in and that's validated. It's like, oh, your average Evermore song rank is a 40, and for the average Swift Alert user, it's an 80, and you've confirmed what you thought. But we have also seen a lot of people who have gone in and been like, man, I really thought, I've always said that Red is my favorite album, but it turns out that like 1989 is ahead of it in my rankings. So that's been fun to watch people have some of those revelations online.
And that's just genius. That's something that we've done time and time again on this podcast is our own rankings. We do an initial ranking before we break down an album. And then after we spend so much time getting into the album, we'll go back and see how our rankings have changed at the end.
Yep.
And we've always had listeners participate and comment with their own rankings. So to be able to open that up on such a broader level is just genius. And thank you for doing that for the community so people can join in and have fun themselves.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been, I mean, the first time I ranked Taylor Swift's full discography, my wife and I we were driving from North Carolina to Colorado, and I basically told her, like, all right, pull up an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to listen to every song one after one, and we're just going to put them in rank order because we had to kill some time. And she graciously was willing to support me in that exercise, but
Awesome.
it was not necessarily the most efficient way of making that happen. So we're trying to make it a little more attainable for people who maybe have wanted to do those rankings, but have been overwhelmed by the task.
That's so fun. Next time that we do a ranking, we need to look at our percentages. And I
Yeah.
think about that too because every single time we get into an album, I am like, wait, maybe this one is my favorite album. I'm like, wait, maybe I lied when I said the other one was my favorite album.
Well,
So
and
that's really cool.
that's the other nice thing is you can go, those rankings are still there, right? So I find that mine can fluctuate by season or by what's going on in my life, and so sometimes I'll, start, like I've been listening to My Tears Ricochet nonstop lately.
Oh
Not
no, are
like,
you okay? What's
yeah, I
going
was gonna
on?
say, I'm not going through anything. Just for
My
some
goodness.
reason, it's really resonating with me right now, and like it's easy for me to jump back into the rankings and be like, oh, that's ranked in the 40s. Like that's too low for how I'm feeling in this moment. So it's meant to be like this is a snapshot of where my rankings are today at this moment. And maybe not forever, but that's how they are on, January, whatever.
That's so fun.
So on this big spreadsheet that you did with your wife, I'm not going to ask what the last song was because I'm not about the negativity, but what was the number one song that you picked of all time of all Taylor Swift songs? And I know this is subject to change because we do it all the time, but
Yeah.
what was your number one pick, Kyle?
Wonderland has been my number one song for a little
Wow.
while now. I mean, that's been consistent for over the course of years. I absolutely adore that song. I don't even know what it is about it. The first time I heard it, it really hit me, and I just have latched on to that song over the years. So
Yeah.
if I share my Swift Alert song rankings right now, that is the one that you will see at the top for sure.
Hey,
Wow.
that's excellent. And that when we did our rankings, our 1989 rankings, I think it was Amy when she was describing style, and she was like, "It just has something. Just
Yeah.
some. I don't know how to
Yeah,
explain
something.
it. It just has something."
Yeah, and that's been the coolest thing is like everybody has their thing, right? Like, and it's been fun to see everybody putting their rankings online because there's so many where it's like their number one song is something that I have in the hundreds, but that's what's beautiful about her music. It resonates differently with different people, and she's got something that appeals to everyone, and it's been fun to see people put that out there in the world as like, hey, this is what works for me, and this is what really hits me emotionally, and it might be different for somebody else.
Yeah.
Can you track which countries are downloading and using your app? I'm just curious, outside of the US, what countries are really loving your app?
Yeah, we can track it. I'm happy to pull it up if you want me to. We've got
I love data.
our second most popular country has been the UK for a little while. We've seen some pretty clear growth in Australia, I think, as we get closer to the shows in that part of the world. We definitely saw like stronger than usual growth in the countries where the shows were happening, and so that's been cool to see too. I think you can tell like, oh, there are people talking about this in that part of the world right now.
Yeah.
So you can start to see a little bit of growth. But like, I honestly, I have so much fun going through and just looking at the map because Google has a little map that you can see like, we've got users in almost every country in the world, and in some of them it's it's one or it's two. Like I have it pulled up right now. Like we have one user in Ghana, and we have one user in the Ivory Coast and in the Congo, and like that, it's very cool to me to see that, like we were talking about a minute ago, her music resonates differently with different people, but it also resonates so universally, like truly globally and every part of the world.
All right, everyone throw out a country. We're going to see how many users are there. Antarctica. That's not a country. How many do you have in Antarctica?
I oddly do not see it on my map.
We need to spend some Google ad money to advertise in Antarctica.
I will work on that.
How many do you have? Because she has a song called Paris. How many do you have in
There you
France?
go. We currently have, let's see, 2,087 users in France.
Nice.
Wow. Wow.
Well, not to brag, but we have one listener in Ohio.
What about Thailand? I have someone who's going to Thailand.
Thailand.
There's definitely users in Thailand. For
We
sure.
have 52 users in Thailand.
Oh, it's great. Love to see it.
That's amazing.
Love to see it.
Well, what about Tokyo, since that's where she's heading next?
Yes.
All right.
Or Japan.
Oh
Japan.
well, only 56 users in Japan. So we need to
Oh, that's going to skyrocket.
Like
spread
you
the word.
said, yeah, it will be really cool to see just the wave of your users go up as she is moving across the world. That's pretty neat.
That's going to be really cool. And it just that's something we've also we talk about it a lot with our podcast. Like, it's crazy to think that, we all share a love for Taylor Swift and her music, and it just connects us just completely around the world, which is insane.
Yeah.
And like in the best way.
Yeah.
But you also have some other features. Are you doing an outfit tracker? Because I know
We
that's something that the fans love.
yeah, that would be breaking news here on this podcast. Nobody else knows about that yet. It's currently in test mode.
right.
So we are getting an outfit tracker ready to go. We're really excited about the design and how it turned out. It looks really cool. But it'll be similar to our surprise song tracker. So you would see like, live during the show. If you want to look at what she's worn in the first couple eras, you can check in and see that. But you'll also be able to go in historically, filter by era, filter by outfit, drill into a particular night or a particular color of an outfit that you want to see. So for we've had many requests almost on a daily basis for some sort of outfit tracking tool. So we're excited to get that rolled out there.
Are you nervous though if she like has new outfits?
Oh yeah.
We got to update. We got to
You're like,
update the app.
You know she
Oh, yeah.
will.
That's the
She
thing.
has to.
She has to. We have to
Yeah.
take that into account in everything that we do, right? It's like, all right, this works well for how it's structured right now. How can we make sure it's flexible enough? So we did design a little new icon. So if she wears something new, you'll see that icon kind of as a placeholder until we get the new art done for whatever
Right.
outfit she
Mhm.
rolls out, and
That's
then we'll be able to
amazing.
put that in there. So yeah, she will no doubt keep us on our heels.
So we are talking to Kyle, the mastermind behind Swift Alert, and Taylor Swift is returning on the Eras Tour tomorrow. She's been a little quiet lately. We see her out at games. Taylor Nation's definitely been trolling us with hair full of secrets and this kind of stuff. Kyle, what do you think is going to be different whenever she goes on stage tomorrow? Is anything going to be different? Is
Yeah,
she going to come out and is there going to be an announcement? What are you anticipating?
I'm very curious. I mean, last time I was here with you all, we were reputation clowning pretty intensely.
Still, aren't we always?
Yeah, that's just become like part of our day-to-day lives at this point. You still got to believe we're getting pretty close. It just feels like there have been so many hints. I know some people have read into the green as like maybe debuts jumping in the queue. I still think it's going to be rep. I still think the announcement's going to come pretty soon, potentially as soon as night one in Tokyo. I'm very, very curious though to see like does she switch up the set list even in some subtle ways. There's part of me that feels like she's going to be wanting to deliver the product that she's been delivering to make sure it gets to everybody in the world. And that's part of the point of like doing a global tour like this. And then there's part of me that thinks just knowing who she is, like she loves to throw a curveball and get new content out there. And so who knows what we're going to see, but I will continue to clown daily, every minute for rep until it happens. So we'll just assume that's my prediction night one. And if it doesn't come true night one, I'll be predicting it night two also.
Yeah.
You just have
same.
the alert just ready. Like you have your finger hovering.
I mean, we have had multiple occasions where our group chat has been, because that one's different, right? The Eras alerts are all a little bit more structured, right? Like we have a rep alert written up. All we need to do is like add a release date to it. We're ready to, and there have been multiple times where like the group chat has been like, should we pull it up? Should we be ready for it? Yeah. So.
Well, especially whenever during the secret song on the last night, she said during the rep tour and then stopped herself and said, no, Eras tour. And then even said like, y'all are getting in my head. But yeah, I'd be afraid about firing off that warning. So you have a alert ready to go for Reputation. Do you have an alert ready to go for TS11? Are you a TS11 truther?
Yeah, it's not that I'm not a TS11 truther. I don't have an alert ready for it. Perhaps I should have one in the queue. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't. I guess that's the whole point here. Is nothing she does would surprise me, right? It's like it's all on the table. You got to be ready for any of it, and that's where like going back to we started with how is this impacting my sleep schedule, right? There are nights that I will like shoot up in bed and I'll like do a quick scroll through Twitter and I'll be like, did she announce something like in the middle of the night that I missed that people are gonna be like, "Where was the alert for the rep announcement that happened at 2:00 in the morning?" And I'm like, what am I
Where
supposed
were you?
to do?
Yeah, just ever since that outfit on her birthday,
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see what's next. It's always a nice anticipation because it's impossible to think like Taylor Swift, but I'm constantly on my toes about it
Yeah.
and waiting for the next thing. So I couldn't even imagine you being in somewhat fear about it, about
Yeah.
did I miss something, just having those anxiety dreams.
If you all see it and you don't get an alert from Swift Alert, please send me a text.
Text
Send
you
me an email.
immediately. Yeah.
Make sure we can talk.
So something else cool that you are releasing on your app is merch, correct?
We are as Lacey is
Yes.
modeling our Swift Alert t-shirt. There you go. Well, everybody's
my
got them.
goodness.
Love it.
Oh, thank you. Let me grab mine. Let me.
Where's
Yeah.
yours, Anna?
We'll see if we end up nice, Anna. We'll see if we end up selling Swift Alert merch on there. We have a small business partner that we've identified who has a bunch of different Taylor merch. And that's another request that we get from the community all the time is, hey, we want access to merchandise at a reasonable price. And so we're going to put that, a link to that merch shop on the app. And then the part of the reason we're really excited about them is they've got the ability to get things to market really quickly. So if you think about, some of the cool moments that happen in a show, they're talking about doing kind of merch drops on a regular basis. So if she says something interesting or there's a rep announcement or whatever it is, we will get some merch out there, potentially even as quickly as by the end of the show. And for folks who want to opt in to alerts about those things, we're going to build it into the app so you can opt into an alert if you want to be alerted for some of those limited edition merch drops. So we're excited about that.
I would love to get a T-shirt that says something like Taylor Swift announced Reputation in Tokyo, and all I got was this T-shirt.
There you go.
If you're looking for ideas, let me know.
Be careful what you wish for.
I'm just thinking Taylor Swift never sleeps, and now I'm thinking Kyle never sleeps either because you're so on top of things. And complete brag alert, opening up this package, there was confetti. I don't know if that's special for us or if that's the way packaging
Just say it's for us. It'll make us feel way better.
The confetti was just a really nice touch.
And the friendship bracelets,
amazing. But the quality of these shirts, like this is a shirt I would proudly buy. Thank you for sending them to us. But I mean, it's a great quality shirt. This is something comfortable, stylish. I really like the logo on it. And we got stickers and a nice thank you note as well. So thank you so much for all of that, Kyle.
Absolutely. That's I will shout out. I mentioned I have a friend who's part of our team. She's I won't mention her by name here, but she's been incredible, super helpful. And I don't know if you all followed our 13 days of Swiftmas, but that was
a lot of participated.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I love how you did it. It was like 13 days of Swiftmas where you like would take quizzes and there was Easter eggs and it was a lot of fun. It was so fun. And it's also been really cool to see the Swifties getting, the prizes that they won. And like with our package, you would include the confetti, the thank you note, the friendship bracelets. Like it's all in the details and you go so above and beyond. And I think that's part of what makes it all so successful. And it's really cool.
Yeah, big shout out to her. That is as much as I would like to take credit for the confetti and the artwork and all that stuff, that is her world, and she's crushed it with that. So yeah, we're fortunate that we are a very very small little team, but we all bring a lot to the table. So it's been fun to work with.
And Kyle, gosh, it's hard to like you even more than I already do, but you still make me like you more and more just the more that I get to talk to you, because you're saying, man, this is great, but I like to sit back and let other people do it because then this whole other idea comes together. And I love the fact that you share with your community, that you share with the people that you work with. And I think that that's incredible that you want to allow others to be able to express themselves and then give them credit that, hey, that was a really great idea and it wasn't mine. So thank you. Just thank you for your generosity and your kindness and being so cool to other people and nice to the Swifties. Just thank you for being you, Kyle.
Agreed.
You're awesome.
Thank you for all you do for the Swiftie community.
Yes, for sure.
All right.
Kyle, will you please explain the pricing on Swift Alerts? Because I saw last time whenever we posted about it, some people were confused about it. So
Yeah.
let's just clear it up right here, right now. Kyle, Swift Alerts, whenever somebody downloads Swift Alert, what happens?
Yeah, thank you for asking about that. It's been I don't know if I would call it a controversial topic, but it's gotten a lot of social media questions over the last couple months. So when we first rolled it out in the Buenos Aires shows, the app was free. It was free to download. Obviously, we had 0 users at that time, so it was kind of irrelevant what the price was. But once we always had a plan to build in some sort of in-app purchase. And I think the piece that I'm not sure people fully appreciate or understand is like that there's a lot of work that goes into this. There's not only a lot of work that goes into it, there's a lot of money that goes into it. And another thank you to my wife, like she was willing to put a lot of our own personal money into developing this product before we saw any return from it or had any idea that we might even be able to make some of that money back. And so it is very expensive to develop software. It's expensive to host software. If we had an engineer who was willing to work for free and Apple said, hey, no problem, we'll host this thing for free, and it didn't take time away from me doing my day job, then we might say, hey, we're going to offer the whole thing for free, but we can't do that. So what we have chosen to do, there are different pathways to generate revenue from a software product. You can effectively take user data and try to sell some ads. You can take user data and sell that data, or you can charge for the product that you're selling. Some products choose to do that and they make it some sort of recurring subscription, sometimes somewhat sneakily so that you don't even know it's a recurring subscription. From the beginning, this has been a way for us to try to serve this SwifTEA community. And so what we have chosen to do is it is a one-time $199 payment. If you make that payment, you get access to everything in the product. As we continue to roll out new features like the outfit tracker we talked about, you will continue to get access to those features without paying anything additional. And if you choose not to pay or you're not able to pay, we totally understand that. And a lot of the app, the news feed, a lot of the quizzes, the schedules, the live streams, the countdown tracker to shows, all of those things are free, and you can continue to use those even if you choose not to pay for the app. So
there is a free version. You don't have to pay anything, but if you do pay, it's a one-time fee, and that's it. And you have exclusive to everything.
And it's
That's right.
$2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swifties supporting other Swifties. I mean, I'm not mad at you for charging.
Me neither.
We're going to start charging for this podcast. We're gonna start. I'll get with you on pricing.
Yeah,
I mean, people, you are spending time and money in this, so it's not it's not unheard of. I mean, of course you want to. I'm glad that you are, and thank you for still offering a free version because you don't have to, and that's nice that you are. Like Taylor Swift, you want to make this accessible to everyone.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
at the same time, I mean, you can pay too.
This applies to other folks too. Like Tess is another person who puts a ton of time and effort into this, right? And I know I believe she has some sort of subscription package now as well, right? And like I hope that Swifties understand, like this is, there are many hours a day and a lot of personal money that goes into this. And I don't think, in fact, I'm certain, like my wife and I are not going to walk away from this, like, buying a private island. It's we're hoping to make our money back from it. And that's pretty much it. So it is something that we have to do in order to provide this service. So I appreciate you all understanding that.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this. And thank you for all the cool features. Thank you for being on top of everything. Thank you for being awake so I don't have to be. So I can wake up and have my Swift alert going off telling me what I've already missed whenever I'm waking up late o'clock in the day.
What's your plan for the Japan shows? Are y'all gonna be awake?
Well, at least Amy and I, we work for a morning show. And so we were talking about how we're going to be up anyway, at least for surprise songs. Maybe not 3 a.m., but we'll be up at 5:30 for the surprise songs.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll be here.
Yeah. I don't know yet.
I'll be up for the midnight set. I'll be up towards the end.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
our time zone at least.
Yeah.
But Amy and I, we were like, oh my god, we can like watch together. Like that's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
I don't wake up early anymore. I had my boss last week. He called me at like 9:30 in the morning and left a voicemail. Was like, "Oh, I guess you're sleeping because you were out last night." And I called him back at 11, and I was like, "No, dude, literally, I'm never awake at that time. Like, unless I have to be. I wasn't out last night. What kind of person do you think I am? No, I was just sleeping. I don't wake up early anymore."
Man, I need your boss.
Yeah.
Jeez, this is great.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle, I just have one last question. Since you and your wife are both big Swifties, all of your time is consumed by talking about Taylor Swift. Did you guys get each other Taylor Swift Christmas gifts? Like, did you get each other like a signed album, a shirt, or something?
We did not. We she and I went to the Glendale show together, which, as everybody knows, was also not a small expenditure. And I think that was probably the full Taylor Swift budget that we had for for the year.
Okay, well, that was like a whole night of surprise songs.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, we stayed away from the Taylor Swift stuff for Christmas this year.
Oh,
Well,
that's
Kyle,
incredible.
we can't thank you enough for your time, for your effort, and helping build this Taylor Swift community. So we really appreciate it. So for any listeners right now that have not, go download Swift Alert right now. It's in the App Store. Go get it, and you are going to have a ton of fun on the app and following along Taylor as she continues to take over the world. So Kyle, thanks for everything that you've done.
And thank you for just being a joy.
Mhm.
I love you. I really do. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you and your wife for everything that y'all do. And thank you for just being such a good person.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on again, and hope to talk to you all soon.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
nice.
we will all collectively do the heart hands into our cameras right now. Yes. All right. Well, thanks, Kyle. See you next time.
Thanks for listening. The Third Team, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.